How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you a review for the, review and recap for the last episode of Yashahime Princess Half-Demon. This is episode 48, we're just too shy of 50, a never-ending future. So, before I go any further, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos like this, and please do share the video so others can see what a great and interesting time we are having here today. Wow. You know, it's really crazy because I plan on doing a video talking about anime intros or openers, OP as that you may, and it's crazy that I think this is the third opener that showed basically, hey, this is what the plot's going to be going forward. That's kind of like, okay, some of these metaphors, it's really good. I really like when an opener can show you what's going to happen without just without flat out going, hey, by the way, all of this is going to happen. Like the Kirimaru stuff, the Rion stuff, them attacking a giant ass butterfly. That makes a lot of sense. And I gotta admit, because I might forget, the ending to this actually got me kind of like, damn, this is actually the ending. And just seeing all of them finally happy, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get them going to the present time, the Rera era. And I get why. I mean, it's Inuyasha, it's Yashahime. There's always a way for them to return. I mean, apparently it took Kagome 3 years to go back to Inuyasha, I guess after they beat Naraku, but you know, and it took Towa 15 years to get back home, but hey, I'm pretty sure there'll be something else. Because let's just come on, guys. I really do think Kagome should be able to see her family one more time, and since technically Towa is, that's crazy that Towa is technically her, no, that's her adoptive niece. Yeah, actually her real niece. Damn, since her niece technically was also raised by her brother, I think they should at least be able to take at least a trip every 5 years to see them. That's my opinion. It's kind of interesting that they leave things open like that because you get a lot of shows that like to wrap things up and be like, oh, by the way, they can go back and forth. Hey, isn't that wonderful? It's interesting how Rumiko Sensei has done this, but I'm done with my musings. Let's go on with what happened. So we see Trikio, as I like to call her, but it's really the um, the ancient tree, the tree of ages. That's the form it chose for reasons that only make it fan service reasons, basically. But at the same time, I need to finish the final act of Inuyasha to know if something happened with Kikyo's ashes on at this place. But yeah, Trikio, as we like to call her, she says, you did it. You brought an end to the degenerate age. I knew you and your daughters could do it, and would be strong enough to do this. And we don't really see her eyes because she's really speaking up at the blue tree form that is literally still herself. And she's saying, I'm grateful to you, Shishomaru, and just fades away. We did get a very antagonistic view of the tree in the first season, the first goings. It seemed like, man, I feel like this tree is kind of forcing us to do all this stuff, right? We never got that the tree was saying, hey, you guys can do this. I need your help. I do feel that since the Tree of Ages is a sentient, I was going to say a breathing being, a living, breathing being, but it's a sentient being, I have a feeling that if they really, really needed to, that thing would let them get through. It's grateful to Shishomaru. It's grateful to the family. I'm pretty sure it would let them, right? So the Demon Slayers, they are helping the village rebuild because remember, the degenerate age happened. There's a bunch of demons that were coming through and wrecking stuff up. Um, Useless Kaede is there just looking up at the sky. So you made it. You're alive. Yeah, and guys, I call her useless because she could have easily told Moroha who her parents were. She could have told everybody, yeah, that's your mama, that's your daddy, and that's your mom, that's your dad. Don't that brought about my early Naruto comparisons, not just because of Towa's personality, but because You have an older figure here that could just talk. That's one of the missteps of the first season. I'm gonna be very honest. The second season, the second act, it did a better pace of things in most areas. Like all of my trepidations of the first season were kind of fixed in this one. It's like animation continued to look good. The battles made sense. You gave equal time to all the girls, even though technically this show is technically the Shishomaru girls show. I did feel like they were giving Moroha more and more. Like as soon as we got that taste of Kagome and Inuyasha, they were like, okay, we got to give people more. We got to keep giving them more. I don't know if there were any mid-season edits or anything like that, but you kind of could feel that they were able to gauge that people felt you weren't doing much with Moroha. Well, Moroha was getting more and more. And it's actually the Moroha bits of this episode that just the Moroha bits are great. Um, so the girls. Oh, by the way, there's a rainbow. So it's a new day. It's a rainbow. Everything's great. Um, Towa is bearing the horn that was Riku, and I guess this is where she told the girls, Riku had died. It's a cliff overlooking the ocean. The mountains they make it look kind of suggestive, but they do the best they can. They have flowers and everything, and that's where our intro starts. Kitty kitty, that thing. Um, Going down. We are now in present day, and it's the Higurashi Shrine, and that that same old tune that Setsuna played that also happened to be the same song that her mother would hum to them as babies. They're also in her belly, but when they were born. Moe Higurashi, the Brock, because her eyes are always closed, playing her violin. Sota tells her come in, have some coffee. Kohi, if you understand Japanese. May is asleep. She's already drawn pictures of all three of her sisters. Setsuna's picture is so funny because she has the poppy bug. I was like, what? And she actually makes that face in this episode towards the end. It's great. You notice that Granny Higurashi, Kagome's mother, she has gray on the side of her hair. That's actually really a really cool detail that I don't think was ever done before, but yeah. They also have a very long life. Where was Bouillon? I don't think I saw Bouillon. He's probably out there protecting the world from demons because he is a demon cat. I'm holding true to that. Bouillon is a demon cat. So, we have Inuyasha. Before I get to this, I've got to say, Sota, they were wondering about the girls. And Sota's like, well, we're still in this peaceful age, so I'm pretty sure they survived. They succeeded in what they were doing. Then Moroha and Inuyasha fighting the ice beast Unue, UN-EI, Unue. Oh man, this was so great. Animation for this fight was so amazing. Like guys, my friends, it was amazing just to see Inuyasha was trying to do the wind scar, this ice thing the ice beast put up a wall, and it froze in his hand. He was able to use that big sword and just break that stuff off his hand. And Moroha's like, I got some fire. I got fire, Dad. Let's do this. Crimson Dragon Wave burns through that. He does the adamant barrage. This thing turns into a literal ice sword. I don't know how this show succeeds by always putting in interesting stuff. And we're not going to talk about it no more. Here's the sword. Sword's right there. Remember the demon turtle kid? I really thought that would be one of the people that would just pop up and help out, but stuff like that was interesting. We did get a purifying arrow, so we got Adam Barrage, the purifying arrow, turned it back into the ice sword Une. Kagome is happy that they are in sync, and we get a flashback, and I think it was when they were at the grave of the great dog demon that Kagome found that Moroha is in tons of debt, and she was not happy. The shouting that we got in the preview wasn't her shouting at them because she's mad at, Inuyasha or Moroha. She's upset that her daughter is in debt. She's like, my daughter would not be in debt. Our beloved daughter would not be in debt. And she's like, it's for 1 Rio. I don't know the exchange rate. I just assume that the 1 Rio that's left is a lot. And she immediately tells, she's like, Inuyasha, go and slay some demons. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, sure. Uh, I have. He's not going to fight her on this, and he basically has no choice. Um, and she for some reason she says sorry Moroha, but I guess she's saying sorry Moroha because she kind of pushed them both together once again. She didn't have to do a damn thing. She's just like, hey, both of you are great. She has both of us, and you are you. I can just sit back and watch you guys bond and be happy. And Moroha thanks her dad with the immediate blush, and then out of nowhere, Miyoga, like the Miyoga that was in the first season that we completely forgot about, just appeared. And even Moroha's like, yeah, you didn't show up at all during that Kiramaru stuff. He's like, hey, a smart man knows when to stay away, and he gets on Yasha's face. He drinks his blood, gets smacked. He's like, oh man, I miss drinking Master Yasha's blood, but it doesn't compare to Madam Moroha. And Inuyasha's like, yeah, and he's like, save me. So he hops and he's with Moroha now. It's good to see him. Um, where am I at here? And we get another. So we get another blushing moment because Kagome's here now, and Moroha's like, Dad, he still has some ice on his hand. She's like, let me warm you up, and he's blushy, they're both bashful. It's an adorable moment. Moroha's going to take the sword to Jubei. Takachio was surprised that she was able to do it by herself, and she's like, well, I did it with my dad, and he's like, couldn't hear you. She's completely bashful about working with her dad, but Takachio is very mature. He doesn't tease her about it. He's like, you got some really good parents there. And Jubei's like, you know what? I'll take that sword for one Rio. Her debt is gone. So, even still, someone walks in who sounds like Riku. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, you're watching the sub. You actually remember what his voice sounds like? Yes. This show started in October 3rd, 2020. It's been a year and 5 months. We had a little break in between. I recognize Riku's voice at this point. Even has the same hair from the back, but he has my skin complexion. But we'll get on that in a minute. So Wren is with both of the girls. She gives them both kimonos that she made herself with fabrics that was given to her from, you guessed it, Shishomaru. And the girls are just kind of there in awe. They're thankful for this. And Wren says that he probably got this to you guys as a reward for all of your hard work and everything you've done. And even then, Towa actually calls him Shishomaru for a second, right? The only time she's called him Shishomaru in this episode, I'm like, I thought we were past this. But it's kind of good we're not. Because she asked her mother if he worried for them, right? The Tensei can only bring back somebody once, and she brings up Setsuna had died. And Setsuna's like, well, if you want to go there, hey, you lost your whole entire soul, right? And, Towa feels like if their father had, had helped them more, maybe they wouldn't have been in that situation or gone through all that. And Ren tells them that she actually experienced death too. Now, at this point, this is when the scene starts getting really artistic, right? The wind is blowing. The field they're in, it's white flowers. Definitely look up the meaning of white flowers with Japan. Look up the meaning of white flowers, period. But look up specifically in Japan. The petals are everywhere. The girls' mouths are kind of open because they're like, Mom died, and Ren is telling them. And guys, remember, that's technically how her and Shishomaru got close. She found him after he got beaten up. She's kind of helping him. He growled at her. She didn't really show that much fear. And wolf demons came in, murdered the entire village. She's a poor kid who really couldn't speak at all. And I don't know if that's out of trauma or just a physical thing she had. She got killed by the wolf demons. He ended up killing those wolf demons, but saved her with the Tenseiga. That's how we got our Ren. And where am I? And she says this air, and this is, I love how competent these characters are. And if anybody wants to talk about competent female characters, look no further. With Inuyasha, series as a whole. Inuyasha and Yashahime. Not just because these are show about princess demons on this one. No. Look at the whole entire series because the women are on point, right? Not saying the men aren't, but you get what I'm saying, right? Because she says this world, this era that we live in, is full of nasty things, isn't it? There's things you can't do about it. And she says, since you guys are half demons, you're gonna face a lot more hardships. And she's openly laughing and smiling about it. She's like, you're probably gonna be openly attacked by strange demons because you are Shishomaru's daughters. And all of that stuff was true. They kept, and that was, remember, guys, I kept saying to myself, why do all these demons? And I think it was towards, it wasn't towards the end of first season. It was all in this season where just all these demons kept going, you're Shishomaru's daughters. We can smell Shishomaru. I heard about them, and then they just started getting like jumped by score. Like first it was like 4 or 5, or then like 1 or 2. Then you have like gangs of demons just jumping them because they're like, "Hey, we heard about Shishomaru's kids. We know that you're his daughters, right?" And Setsuna says, "Well, that happens. We'll slay everybody that comes our way." And Toa's like, "Yeah, we'll take care of them. You know what? I got Setsuna and I got Moroha. I'll be fine." And Wren has a flashback of the both of them as little babies when they were first born, and she says, "Man, you guys have gotten really strong." And she's sure their father is happy about it. And she's laughing, more wind and everything. She looks the most elated, and you know what? I don't blame her. You were stuck in a tree for years because some chick was so jealous about your father-in-law that she didn't get with him, and then she didn't get with your man, and then Zero's motivations were very weird, but the one thing you can trace it back to is heartbreak, and I guess heartbreak makes people do strange things. And I guess it does make people do strange things. So now we're at the raccoon demons, the Tanuki demons. We're at their place, so we see Takamaru. Two claps for Takamaru, the hawk. He's the retainer of Kinosuke, that is the little brother of Takachiyo. Him and Hachi and everybody else, they're watching Shippo. He's giving them classes on how to transform. From a character that didn't show up at all in the first season to finally showing up in the latter half of the second season. Thank you. Thank you, Shippo, for being able to have more. Like he's in a good position. Again, another character that has matured. And he's happy. They're happy. When his class is over, his senses go off. And Gyokuto and Kiyun, the twin girls of Moroku and Sango, are right behind him. And they're like, oh, you're a teacher? This is great. This is kind of... And they attack him, obviously, with the petting and everything. Ever since they were little girls, they have attacked him that way. Moroku and Sango are looking over, smiling. Moroku looks tired. Like, he looks actually... He has this, like, line. He looks actually old and tired-ish, right? And he mentions, like, yeah, he's become a very respectable fox demon. And Sango's like, yeah, he's 19th ranked. Even Inuyasha will be very happy to hear that. So it's nice to know that while him and Inuyasha still have that little brother, big brother relationship, he loves his little Shippo brother. Where am I at here? So while they're torturing him, Shippo's saying, you're just like your parents. Can you two please help me? And they're like, we'll comfort him later. We'll let them keep having their fun, right? And they're just Sango's laughing. They're having a time of it. I think again, getting super close to everyone dying, you're at this point like we're having a good time. We're enjoying every moment of life. And we do get that Takamaru. Just I love that was great. That was a good way to transition into Towa and Setsuna sitting by the edge of the water. They're actually right near the corpse dealer, Jubei's hut. They look very nice. If you notice, Toa still dresses in a tomboyish way because her kimono is open. You see the top of her chest, but then you can also see later on that, she's wrapped. So she's not nude, she's wrapped, but this one over here, she looks so much like her dad. She still has the fur. She has the fur on hers. It's literally like, yeah, I'm gonna keep rocking this look. I have a battle one, and I have an easygoing one. And they're remarking on how late Moroha is, and Toe was having a conversation with his sister saying, I don't really understand what Mom was saying. and we get more petals are falling. Moonlight at night, ocean, petals are falling. They've done such a great job with framing a lot of these scenes. And she's like, she didn't really understand what their mom meant. And Setsuna finally tells about the writ or the right of courage and cowardice. Half demons had a lot of enemies, so she says maybe their father was testing to see if they can survive. And Toa's like, is it because half demons are so weak? And in my eyes, I'm like, are half demons supposed to be seen as weak? Because in this series, there's been more half demons whooping ass than anything. Think back to Inuyasha with the tall guy with the long face who was the gentle giant. He was whooping butt. I think even Naraku technically counts as a half demon. Who in the demon world is telling these demons, yeah, those half demons are weak? If someone told me they were half demon, I'd be like, you know what? It's cool. I'm going this way. You have a good day. Because half demons have not seemed to be weak. Moroha comes in and says, you guys are overthinking things. And she's like, don't be so depressing. And she was talking about a money making opportunity. And Toa's like, it must be nice to have it simple. It seems like Mr. Inuyasha, that's your damn uncle. You don't have to call him Mr. Inuyasha. It seems like he is very easy to understand and very understanding. And Moroha says, again, you guys are overthinking it. You're taking things too hard. And I think she even calls Shishomaru her uncle. I wish we don't get this, but I wish we would have had this moment where Moroha would have came by him and would have said Uncle Shishomaru, and we would have just got Shishomaru just the transition from when Kagome called him Big Brother to when she calls him Uncle. I would have loved to see just the difference in him being like, yeah, I love my niece. No shit. And which he definitely does. He was the one dropping hints like, you saw your parents? And she's like, wait, how'd you? Okay, you saw your parents. You're good. You're on the right track. I got you. Here's the black pearl. I got you. Now let me help. Let me help these two out. And Moroha explains in layman's terms, very good layman's terms by you, that as half demons, you guys are gonna have more enemies, right? So your dad basically put you through some super extreme training to make sure you won't lose to any bully. And I appreciate how they addressed this. That it wasn't instantly, oh man, we're all together, so we're just gonna ignore all the stuff in the past. No, they got separated from their mom for a long time to the point that they started to forget that they had one, and then the burning of the forest that separated them even further to everything that they've been through is, I won't say it's directly because of Shishomaru putting them through the writ. They had to go through the writ because he's like, yeah, a guy that can fight somewhat on par with me really wants to kill everybody. I'm gonna fix this right now and leave it up to Jockin to be able to hide them for so long, right? Um, but yeah, so once she says that, both of the twins are just going after like, what do you mean? This is beyond training. We both died once apiece. And Marhan's like, look, I don't know the details, but I suspect that he believed in you all along. And we get a flashback. They're thinking back to when their mother said he must be really relieved with how strong you are. Their sudden silence makes Moroha quickly apologize, saying, I'm sorry, I said too much. Very Kagome of her. I said too much. I'm so sorry. And Setsuna on one side of her, don't know how she got on the other side of her that quickly, puts her hand on her shoulder, like, you know what? We get what you're saying. You're pretty cool, Moroha. And just Toa full on tackle hugs them both. And they say, you know what? Where am I at here? Wait. They assure her and say that she is their Nakama, which literally, guys, that's your freaking cousin. I guess Nakama can also mean like close. Like the translation said, very very good friend. It's deeper than that because the bottom of a Nakama is something. I'd have to get all One Piece on you, and I don't want to get all One Piece on you, but yeah. And at this point, the hug, Suzuna's basically hugging on her too. She's blushing. She's near tears because all throughout, and I love that they didn't stop this part from the first season or from the beginning of this second season. Moroha's whole thing's about being alone her entire life. Yeah, she was raised by wolves, which would have been nice to see Inuyasha address Koga about helping his daughter out, right? But this whole entire thing, we might get an OVA. I'm looking forward to that. This whole entire thing, she doesn't want to be alone. Which, if the demons focused more on her than the twins, they would have had some big ammunition to mess with her. Besides killing her teacher, which her teacher dying is one of the big missteps of the first season. But I digress. Um, she gets the blushy crying face and pushes them both off. Says, "Hey, all right, enough of that. I gotta show you guys about this money making opportunity." They go up into the hut. It's a guy named Kai. Literally, it's just brown face Riku. It's me face, my color, brown face. I'm trying not to say black face, but brown face Riku, right? And he says his name's Kai. Merchants at the west, they're being attacked by demons. It's kind of messing with things. Can you guys help? And Setsuna and Moroha are like, yeah, we should tell our parents we're gonna be gone for a long time. And Jubei's like, yeah, I'll walk you. Takachiyo leaves with them. As soon as they're gone, Towa's like, I'm gonna have to apologize to Jubei-san. Punches the wall near this guy's head and is like, did you really think you can fool me, Riku? And he's like, Lady Towa. He's like, yeah, no shit, dude. Even I knew it was you just because I knew what your voice sounded like. And mask falls down. Magical star wipes. He is took off the blackface makeup. He was tan skinned, guys. He could have just stayed tan skinned, but whatever. Um, at this point, he's like, I didn't know how to approach you because the last time we parted ways, it was very dramatic and it was very tragic. And she's just happy that he's alive, right? And he's like, he didn't die. She's happy he's alive. Next morning, Hisui is training with Setsuna. She beats him, and he's like, he's gonna get another match tomorrow. She tells him about, well, he's gonna have to wait, going out west to take care of a job. But I'll train while I'm out there, so my skills aren't slacking. She says she has a letter from Ayaka, the princess, for him, and he's like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, you can be so dense sometimes. It's obviously a love letter. You could be a lord, so you need to get to it. And he's like, I don't give a damn about. He's about to confess to her, about to say, the one I need. He literally says, the one I need is, and she's like, all right, I gotta go. It's like those instincts, those demon instincts, just like, no, I gotta go. Bye. Literally just jumps and gone. She's like, I gotta go pack up to leave. And he's like, man, I'm the dense one. Kohaku, like the ninja he is behind him. Is like, yeah, she's like an impenetrable fortress, but you know what? Leave it to Shishomaru's daughter. She is Shishomaru's daughter, right? And flat out just says, he's basically cheering his nephew on. And Hisui's like, he's gonna train to be even stronger. We get a few days later, it literally said that a few days later, at the Iyo province, would you look at that boat? That boat looks like Hirimaru's boat. Well, on this boat is Riku with a new cutlass and Takachiyo. Underneath them are a bunch of green fish shark-like demons. They don't have fins, but they're moving all around. The one gets ready to jump out at them, gets hit in the head, and lo and behold, look, it's Moroha. She does a spirit arrow volley, literally kills all of them. Just one shot. One shot's all she needs. And they're like, you beat all of them? No, the main guy, their boss, is still out there. I'm like, okay, so they're gonna fight a big one. No, guys, we get a Godzilla-sized mud man. It might as well have been the smog monster from the Godzilla movie. That's how big this thing is. Thing can talk as well, mind you. And it's like, it's the blood. It smells muddled, but that's Shishomaru's blood. Behind a rock, he fires a muck beam, breaks the rock. Setsuna and Towa both pop out. I think Towa goes high, Setsuna goes low. They cut him. He's like, but you're half demons. How could you? Blah. And he's destroyed. They both land in cool fashion, weapons out on the boat, and they're like, yeah, we're the daughters of Shishomaru. And Towa says Towa and Setsuna. And I skipped the part. I skipped two parts. That is technically where it ends. But the part that I skipped before is where everybody was actually saying bye, right? And I'm kind of glad I skipped that because this is the better ending part. So Morehouse telling her parents, she's debt free. She's gonna go on to take another job. They're happy for her. Moroha has this cute moment where she's like, can I have a hug? And both her parents are kind of shocked. Like, I think they're like, you don't have to ask. She basically says screws it and jumps forward and hugs them both and says, "Mom and Dad, I'm off." Like, you take your bus. That's the part we've been waiting for. And then now this is the part that's great too. We have Setsuna and Toa both riding on Kirara, obviously on their way to the job, and Setsuna is us. By the way, she makes that face. I told you that May Drew. She makes the face, the bug eye face, and she's like, "How? First of all, why did Riku think he could fool us? Did he forget that we're dog demons?" And Toa's like, "Yeah, he had a lot on his mind because apparently, when Toa got her body back, when Rion made her body back from Fool, remember his horn was in her pocket, and so he was infused with the energy of Rion and Kirimaru. So when he was buried, his body finally reformed and he came out of the dirt. Remember, they just put him in little pockets. I guess when he reformed, he just came out. He was nude and all that. They did a good job of hiding that as he looked at the stars. We see his grave, and he has Rion's cone and Kirimaru's Haku, which means he has Rion's soul energy and the mental mind power of Kirimaru. And he's just super thankful for he's very respectful about Kirimaru as well. Just call him Kirimaru Sama. So very happy about that. And Toa's like, yeah, that's how he explained it to me. And Setsuna has that bug. I was like, how does that even work? And we get this funny moment. She's like, I don't know. That's what he told me. Meanwhile, Wren, Shumru, and Jocken at the bottom. Wren is waving them goodbye. I love adult Wren's voice. It is so appropriate. So she's waving goodbye to them, saying, we'll see you when you get back. And they both wave goodbye to them. And Toa says, wait a minute. Wait. I need to get this. And Toa says, we get a silent Shishomaru with the soft eyes. She says to, because they were surprised their father was there. She says, when we get back, we want to hear more from you, Father. And the only thing Shishomaru says is, Ren Ikuzo. Let's go, Ren. And she's like, yeah. Ren is always super happy when he tells her, let's go. Hi. She's ready to go. And Jocken is in tears. She's like, Shishomaru-sama's acting cheerful, which gets him stepped on, which Ren kind of, bends over, kneels down, and goes, Jocken-sama, you're always the same. She even calls him Jocken-sama. So I'm glad that I screwed up the order of these because that's a good thing to end off of. Man. And the last image that we agreed with after the ending, which ending makes tons of sense now, is the girls hugging and the blushy face of Moroha. What more can I say? What more could you want, really? Oh, my light went out. Let's fix that up there. Yeah. So I've been rating all these. First of all, 5 out of 5 rating for the last episode period because we've plugged in all the holes and we figured we didn't let that drop that they would be like, but why would Dad do this? Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes these two seem very emotionally aware and very smart. Kind of I'm really sad that we didn't get a thing that's just like the ending where like they could go back and forth because when they're in the modern era, that's when they had on those clothes, but when they were in the past era, that's when they had on their battle gear and everything. Um Man, like I got everything I wanted. Like I got to see more the Moroha, the Inuyasha family spend time together. I got to see the girls talking about things with their mother and the deep similarities. These three are so close because they have had similar um experiences. Dying. All of them have died once at least. All of them have, you know, been left mystified by Shishomaru. Ren has never doubted Shishomaru's actions at all. So, um, it's kind of weird that Morehouse is the only person without a love interest. I mean, come on, obviously Riku is Toa's love interest, and we got a love triangle with Setsuna, Hisui, and the princess. So I really was surprised that they could have used the whole going west thing as like another little arc, but who knows? They can still do an OVA. They could possibly have to go to, the future and battle another stupid demon there. That'd be nice. I'm also hoping that we do get a reboot that's more close to the manga because that manga looks really good, y'all. I just saw a page yesterday of basically Sasuna using her dog demon powers and turns her hair white. Stuff looks good. Looks really good. Hopefully, I can find an appropriate way of reading it because it looks fantastic. Now, for season two as a whole, a lot of stuff was off, but they after that break, like when they came back, they touched on a lot of stuff. And even though we didn't get tons, we didn't get a lot of Miyoga. We finally got Shippo, but on first season, second season, kind of where this fails, this makes up for, but it still has some failings. So all in all, that's like a 4 out of 5, right? And that's kind of where I want to sit for the whole entire show. A show that's about, you know, Inuyasha and Sesshomaru's daughters did a decent job. Um, it lacked a lot of times. A lot of times I was very upset with how things were going, and I saw the potential in this show, and the potential was in the last episode. I kind of sad about how fast it was rushed. Felt like they had taken like 4 to 5 episodes worth and just smushed them together. Heck, you could have gone to 50 episodes, and two of those episodes could have done a lot better of explaining like some of the Kieran Maru stuff, especially that whole shift in attitude, especially the whole thing with Rion. I still think it's kind of a weak motivation. That's like, oh, she's having a tantrum because she technically still loves her dad, but she still has not grown into her own. I would have loved for Towa to fight Rion and give me a whole episode of that, and they can still make up. Some people might be sad that Kiramaru's dead. I'm glad that whole family is gone, even though Riku's still alive. I'm glad they're gone, but he still got redeemed at the end. He still apologized. He's like, you know what they was messed up. We understand the machinations. It's just some of it wasn't portrayed well, but all in all, this gets a 4 out of 5. I suggest that if you have watched Inuyasha of the past, you'd enjoy this. Someone who hasn't, you might not understand some of the end things, especially first season. There are a lot of callbacks, a lot of really cool callbacks that even I missed until after I did a little bit of research. But I enjoy it. As a whole, I enjoyed it. Had to wear the Sailor Moon shirt because these are the princesses, y'all. And I hope, I hope we do get a sort of reboot based on the manga, a la Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And if they don't want to do that, I hope we get some movies out of this in OVA because I need to see them interact with their families once more. I need to see Moroha interact with Shomaru. I need to see those interpersonal relationships. And if they do possibly decide to continue from this series, you don't even have to do the kids, right? You can just show these kids again, but have more than just not Kohaku, more than just Hisui. Have Gyoto and Kyun. Those two are pretty impressive. Have them out there too. They can be the new band. It's just all girls and Hisui. And Takachiyo's there. He's actually useful now. So let me know what you thought of the series. What were your favorite moments? What was a moment that you didn't like? Even if you didn't like the series, tell me what. Tell me why. Leave a comment down below. I gotta say, my favorite moment. I think this was a really good last episode, man. My favorite moment though was when they had to attack the Grim Comet. I liked all of them working together. I loved that Toa finally had moments at the end, and I think that's what pulled it up. She had moments at the end that solidified her as like, okay, we're focusing on you a lot, and those last moments of this series made me feel better about Towa as a character. It does kind of feel like Moroha is a protagonist that is like on the side of someone else's story though. Like really, like both of her parents are gone. Can't really. No one's telling her anything. Naruto-ish. Um, she had been raised by somebody else. She had to be trained by other people. I kind of want a Moroha Gaiden. Like I kind of want her to have her own little side journey. But there's no way. There's no way she's not gonna have her cousins there. They're stronger together than they are apart. As always, do not forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified of more videos like this. Just because Yashahime is over doesn't mean that I'm done with Saturday anime at all. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to try to go back whenever I'm done with the springtime stuff because that workload is high. I do want to go back, finish up where I stopped in Inuyasha because I was trying to rewatch the whole thing before I got to Final Act and give you guys my thoughts on Final Act, and maybe I'll review some of the Inuyasha movies. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing these characters again somewhere down the road. As always, guys, thank you for joining me. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, do not be a jerk, and I will most definitely see you guys next time.